that our son, Sina, kind of got the perfect mix of all of our weakest elements.
Yeah.
And Alai got the perfect mix of all of our strongest elements.
Ooh, explain that.
So I feel like our son suffers from the challenges of wanting exact routine, like you're talking about,
Yeah.
which is not something you're very proud of in yourself. And he's also so sensitive, which is exactly what I was like as a kid too, where every negative comment, every negative criticism, everything that can be perceived as negative about you is what you perceive and attribute the highest value to. So he not only feels like he's constantly being criticized, even when he's being complimented, he still hears the criticism in the compliment, right?
Yeah.
So he's very sensitive to that. And he's also very sensitive to changes in the routine. So now when there's a change in the routine, he sees it as it being his fault.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we're not going to go to the grocery store today because we ran out of time. He's like, well, I must be a bad boy because I must have done something wrong to make it so that we ran out of time. So it's like the worst element in you and the worst element in me, and he's got to deal with both of them.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, Alai, another example for our daughter, she's taken like these strong elements. So she's got my like brazen, almost reckless risk tolerance. So she'll just run off a cliff and have confidence that it's going to work out on the other side.
She'll ask you first, though.
But she won't really ask.
Well,
right?
You get a heads up.
She'll go through the process of like advising you that this is what she's going to do. And she'll make it sound like you have a say, but you don't really have a say, which comes from you. Because you will 100% tell people what you're going to do, and you'll make it feel like they have an opinion when they really don't have an opinion, because you know that you're the ultimate final authority.
I deny this.
So like, but you can see how the two kids, they have these multiple places where they're a mix of elements that we as adults have come to either try to hold ourselves back in some areas to better fit into society, or we've pushed ourselves past certain behaviors, but they've adopted them naturally as children. So we see that in them.
Yeah.
And to your point about, Sina being motivated by the idea of something, he really did learn how to potty train because he wanted chocolate milk, but he didn't want chocolate milk because he liked chocolate milk. He wanted chocolate milk because all the TV shows and cartoons that we were watching were all talking about chocolate milk.
Yeah.
The kids in daycare were talking about chocolate milk. So he was like, I want chocolate milk, and all I got to do is go potty. And no kidding, that kid learned how to go potty.
Yeah.
He didn't want the M&Ms.
No.
He wasn't motivated by M&Ms. We tried the whole Cheerios in the toilet bowl thing.
That didn't
He wasn't
work
motivated by that. We tried reading to him on the potty. We tried everything. Music on the potty.
Yeah.
It wasn't until chocolate milk that he would actually get up and run to the potty and tell us from the potty that he needed chocolate milk. That was the
catalyst.
That was it. Yeah. Right. And we were talking about it because last night our daughter, Alai, who's 6, is going through this regression in sleep.
Yeah.
Where she wants company to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So she wants to cuddle to fall asleep. At least with me. I don't know what it's like with you. When she calls me back to cuddle, it is not a cuddle. It's not even close to a cuddle. When I cuddle next to her, she pushes me away and she tells me don't touch her.
Yeah.
And sit on the other side of the bed.
Yeah.
And she usually tells me to put blankets or stuffed animals between us.
Yeah.
So I don't have any idea how this is cuddle. But she still says, I want daddy to cuddle with me before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
But she really only wants me in the room present on the other side of the bed for 2 or 3 minutes. That's all she really wants.
Yeah. And it's the same for me. She tells me, please go lay over there. And then she says, why don't you read your book? And then I can look over. She likes to count the lines in my book or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely not. She just wants the company there. She wants the comfort. And I would say, it's funny because, you use the words strength and weakness, which I would argue isn't completely accurate because, for example, the sensitivity that our son has, I think lends itself to this natural empathy that he shows towards people. Our son knows immediately when I am upset and addresses it, where her daughter completely she is the one that makes me upset and she has zero idea. Part of that can be age, but I do think that part of that is their personality traits that they have inherited from us. And I think what's great is that us being able to see ourselves reflected in them in different ways, we are better able to address things that we wish we had known when we were kids. We wished that we had been treated a different way when we were kids. And now we're able to try to implement those things. It's, our great parenting experiment, and, see if we can do a better job or, prepare them better for life.
It's true. I mean, the only thing harder than marriage that I have seen is parenthood.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the fact that you have like parenthood and marriage
at the same time. Who thought that was a good idea?
Oh my gosh. It's like, it's a constant daily kick in the balls is what that is. It's just horrible.
Well, and what's interesting I have read, my mind always goes back to, because you travel now, and my mind always goes back to, the whole concept of it takes a village to raise a child. There's a reason that statement exists. And I've been reading these articles about, the studies of hunter-gatherer societies and the way that children are raised in those societies. And it's never just the mom raising the kids. There's this whole support network of the mom, the grandma, the aunts, the neighbor, the cousins. Everybody helps raise the children, and which offloads the pressure on being a spouse, offloads the pressure on being a parent. And it's just our modern day Western society has moved away from that. And I think that's part of what... Yeah.
I would say there's multiple things going on there.
Right.
I
but I do think that's part of it.
I wouldn't want to over-dramatize the value of a hunter-gatherer society since we don't have to hunt or gather our food right now.
That's fair.
There's certain benefits that come with the grocery store. And I know from where I sit, having to raise your own children in order to use a grocery store doesn't sound like that bad of a trade-off. If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip or here to see the full podcast episode.
Freedom! So fresh, so new. Freedom!